Hello friends, welcome to engineering tutorial. So we'll continue our discussion with material science and engineering. So in this video we are going to discuss about another important aspect which is related to the mechanical properties of material. So we are going to discuss about fatigue in engineering materials. Okay. So, fatigue, before we discuss the concept of fatigue in materials, let us just have a quick discussion on the concept of failure, which we have already discussed, failure or fracture in engineering materials. So, it is very important from the design, development, and production point of view to take into consideration the possibility of failure of a component under operation. So failure is the inability of a material or a component to meet the desired operational specifications, to give us the desired results, or to perform the task reliably when it is being used. Okay, so there are various kinds of failure: yielding, wear, buckling, corrosion, fracture. There are different types of component failures. So we have already discussed about fracture in materials. So fatigue basically is that when the components or any machine or anything which is consists of several components made of metals or any other material, engineering material, when it is subjected to repetitive stress, load, fluctuating load over a period of time, okay, cyclic stress as they call it, they fail due to fatigue loading. So what essentially it means is that suppose fluctuating loads is applied to a particular component over a long period of time, then after some period, be it after certain months, certain years, or maybe in some cases after certain weeks, depending on the type of engineering material, it will fail or it will fracture at much lower values of stress. Okay, so this failure, after being subjected to repeated or cyclic stress or loads, then failing at a much lower value of stress, that is called as fatigue failures. Okay, so these the components which are susceptible to fatigue failures are mostly the moving or rotating parts, okay, such as shafts, connecting rods, gear links, like that. So what essentially it means is that suppose a material or a component is designed to that it can at any given point of time it can withstand a maximum of, let's say, 100 unit of stress or load. Let's say 100 unit, that is the maximum stress value which it can withstand without fracture. What is fatigue is that suppose over a period of time it is subjected to stress values or load values below 100, let's say 20, 30 units, 40 units, sometimes 10, sometimes 5, sometimes again 50, sometimes 60. All stress values are below 100. Like that, stress values it withstands over a period of time, let's say several months or several years. Suddenly one day, when it is subjected to, let's say, a stress of 20 units, it will fail. Okay, that 20 unit of stress is much lesser than its maximum stress capacity, which is 100. But even though it is much lesser than its maximum stress capacity, it fails, it fractures, because it has been subjected to repeated stress values over a period of time. So even though its specification, according to its specification, it can withstand maximum stress value up to 100, it is failing at 20 unit of stress values, because it has been repeatedly or over a period of time continuously it is being subjected to loads or stresses, and because of that, the wear and tear, as they say, uh, the fatigue loading, it is undergoing fracture at much lower values of stress. So different types of tests are performed to determine the fatigue life of a material. So a common fatigue test which is used is the rotating beam test, which is basically to test the moving components. Okay, like we discussed fatigue, it is the fatigue which is the moving parts are more susceptible to that. So because of that, the rotating beam test is used. So it consists of this setup. Okay, here the test piece or the specimen, the component, it is subjected to fluctuating compression and tension stress or load of equal magnitude at any given point of time, and it is continuously rotated with the help of a motor. It is connected to a motor. So basically we want to test the limit, the fatigue limit of that material by rotating it, subjecting it to movement, and applying both compression and tension loads. So it consists of this setup where the specimen, any component, is fixed between 2 points, and it is subjected to a downward weight, and also tension and compression loads are applied to that specimen, and it is continuously rotated with the help of this motor. And here the number of rotations, it is measured by the counter, and also the stress values are monitored. So what we are trying to the information which we are trying to recover are the SN curve, stress number of cycle curve. So here stress, or S, is the stress at which the material is undergoing fracture, and N is the number of cycles or movements the material has undergone. Okay, these two parameters are very important. Okay, so stress is the value of load at which the material is undergoing fracture or failure, and N is the number of repetitions or number of cycles or movements which the specimen has undergone. So the SN curves are plotted. So here the SN curves of aluminium and steel we have shown, where in x-axis we have the number of cycles, and in the y-axis we have the stress values, again in terms of pound per square inch psi. So as it is obvious that when more number of cycles will pass, the specimen or the test piece is subjected to more movement. It means more and more wear and tear is happening. The stress value at which the material will undergo fracture, it will also decrease. So here, according to this SN curve, for aluminium, when the number of cycle or the number of movement is in between 10 to the power 3 and 10 to the power 4, the value, this load value at which it is undergoing fracture, is almost 60 into multiplied with 100 psi. Okay, that. Similarly, when the number of cycles is 10 to the power 4, the same aluminium material, it will undergo fracture at somewhere, I think this is 55 something, this. Similarly, when number of cycle is 10 to the power 5, it will undergo fracture at stress value of somewhere, I think this is 37 or something, into multiplied with 100 psi. So likewise, when the number of cycles will increase, it means that the material is undergoing more and more wear and tear, more and more stress values, both compression and tension stress it is being subjected to, and also it is undergoing more and more movement. So it will the stress value at which it will undergo fracture, it also continues to drop, and that is the whole concept of fatigue. Okay, so the more stress the material withstands, the more movement and it happens. Also its stress tolerance capacity will also decrease. Okay, so the more stress applied to the material, the more movement, the more rotation it undergoes, the stress tolerance capacity of the material continues to decrease, and the stress value at which fracture occurs also continues to uh, decrease as the number of cycles increase. The same goes for steel as well, but they undergo different behavior owing to the characteristics features of the particular metal, but they all follow the same pattern. Okay, so this is the stress and number of cycle curves, and it is very important, especially for the movable or rotating components while selection of materials for designing the moving or rotating parts in various machines. So it is very important to take into consideration this SN curve concept. Okay, so here we have discussed about the concept of fatigue test, and SN curves for materials. So I hope you like this video, and please subscribe my channel Engineering Tutorial for more such videos related to engineering, science and technology. Have a great day. Thank you very much.